In our attempt to be self-sufficient, we are not just looking to produce all our own food. What we're also trying to do is to produce as much of our fuel and energy as possible. This is the back of our house, and as you can see, we've got on the roof, on the south-facing side or southwest-facing side, we've got 10 solar panels. And we've had these in since, I think it's 2011 we had these put in, and at the time the feed-in tariff was available, which basically means that we get paid for every kilowatt hour of energy, of electricity we produce. There's a meter in our house which actually shows the number of kilowatt hours we've generated, and 4 times a year we've got to do a reading on it and then send it off, and we get the payment. Now this is a payment for energy that we have generated, regardless of whether we used it or not. If we are using more energy than we are producing, then we've got to buy that in. If it's the reverse of that, we're producing more energy than we are consuming, then it used to be the case that it just got exported out of our house onto the network and onto the grid. But a few years ago we changed what we did. We added in a rechargeable battery, which means that any surplus that we produced through the day, and on a day like this, even though we're in the middle of December, it's sunny and the battery is powering up. So I'm going to show you that battery now. So this is the battery that we've had installed. It weighs a ton, and as you can see, even though it's the middle of December, the battery is charging up. So at this point we are generating more power than we are using. But there are times when, particularly in the evening, when obviously we are not generating any power, so that's at that point the surplus that's on the battery feeds into the house, and therefore we don't have to buy in the energy that we would otherwise have to do so. Now obviously at this time of year, when the sun goes down at 3 o'clock or 3:30 in the afternoon and rises at about 8 o'clock the next morning, so we're not getting many hours of daylight. So the battery at this time of year will provide us with some of the power that we use through the night, and the rest of it we will actually have to buy in. But in the summer it's often the case that we generate all the electricity that we need, and we don't have to buy any in. All we've got to pay for is the standing charge, which personally I think is a complete rip-off, but we've got to pay that. Yeah, it's the rules. We've got to pay that. So in our household here, I would say probably around about 3/4 of the electricity that we consume, we've actually generated ourselves. We heat the house using the wood-fired stove we've got here, and the fuel for this is free because it comes from branches we've lopped off trees on our farm or on hedgerows and so on. So this costs us nothing to heat our house. So burning the wood is a way of reducing our carbon footprint, because basically the fuel is produced locally and it's part of the natural carbon cycle. So just has the advantage of being sustainable and of being free.